Madam Chair, just one very quick comment to answer that as well. The house that I told you about, the gentleman who owns it is known to police throughout the region, Surrey, Abbotsford, Langley.
The one with the fire?
The one with the fire. He wasn't living in it. He had someone working for him who was living in it, who was running the grow operation, and he had has a number of other operations as well. Now, this gentleman has been charged, has had minimum sentences on every one of the convictions that he's had, and he's still operating. And the problem is that it's seen that he's been given a slap on the wrist, and he just keeps doing business. He just finds another creative way to do business. And I think these are the people that we're talking about that this will definitely assist in eliminating that core group and dealing with them effectively. And there's lots of, I suspect you're going to have lots of other legislation coming here on a whole bunch of other issues that will help to deal with the whole crime issue. And I applaud the fact that we need to deal with these things. We need to give police more search and seizure opportunities. We need to reduce the red tape. We need to do a number of things to deal with organized crime as it relates to drug operations. And then we've got a whole world of issues to do with dealing with society and all of the issues about drug culture and how it happens and how young people get involved. But I will say this again, that I believe young people today feel that getting involved in drugs, getting involved in the drug culture or even the drug business, there's no real risk here. It's easy to get in, it's easy to make money, and that, I believe this as well, sends a strong message that if they choose to go down that road further, then being at a party and passing a joint or a pill, and not that I support that anyways, but if they choose to do that, but if they choose to take the next step and the next step, that there are going to be consequences, and what I believe they will do is stop and think about that, and that's what this assists as well, is changing that attitude.
Thank you very much. Senator Angus.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Cleanup Better, I suspect I might be the cleanup better here. I'll address my question to you, but I'm hoping perhaps you each might comment briefly. You're talking about what you all do, which is to try to make this great country even a safer and better place to live in. And one of the things that we have here is a free society with freedom of expression, and we're taught to respect some of the opinions that we don't agree with. And that's another part that's really great. And I'm sitting here tonight, and I've heard on the same subject matter, allegedly, absolutely is two worlds of opinions. I believe it's fair to say you all were in the room for the previous witnesses. And I was rendered, and I'm not known for this, I was rendered speechless when I heard those previous witnesses. And they didn't even want to hear about the bill. As you know, they don't see one redeeming comma or semicolon in the bill. And I restrained myself, and I respect their opinions, and I'm sure they're very intellectual people. But I mean, I would just like to have your comments on those opinions that were expressed that I'm really having. I'd like the record to show that I don't agree with, but I respect.
I'd be happy.
Walk carefully here, because they're not here to defend themselves.
Well,
they've had a good say.
Tell us what you think about their opinions, but not about them, if you see what I mean.
Madam Chair and Senator, I say this. I sit around a table with people of different political persuasions. We all have different points of view, and that's what I love about this country, and I think it's worth fighting for. I think what we've done, though, and what I heard from the previous witnesses in terms of their perspective on the bill, is a further desensitizing of what the real issues are. Because the issue is so big, it's easy to deflect it into another arena. And compassion comes out. I have compassion for people on the streets, as I said earlier, who are marginalized because of mental health or drug issues, and which one comes first, I'm not always sure. But the bottom line to that is that we need to start drawing lines in the sand. That's what my citizens are saying to me. It's time we stop. If you ever saw the movie Network, there was a point where someone started a movement It said, stick your head out of the window and pardon but it is a direct quote, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. Well, our communities are getting mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore. And we're going to continue to lobby for changes, not to deal with the people who have those challenges. We're going to help them. We're doing things to help them at the community level. But the people who are the parasites, and I'll use that term again, I make no apology for it, the ones who want to suck the lifeblood out of those people and the community, that's what this is all about. That's why I support it. And I think the previous witnesses, I agree with you. I think it's great to do some of the academic peer reviews and all of those things. But you know what? There's lots sitting on lots of shelves in this country. But at the street level, people are saying we need to change the way we do business.
Yes. Thank you, sir. I appreciate their opinion. However, I think our country needs to understand what we're looked at by other countries also. I mean, we are a source country for high-grade marijuana. There's no question about it. Our dope goes down to the States, and they call it BC Bud. They call it all different slang names, but the reality is they want to smoke our dope in America. And so we are a source country for illegal drugs in other countries. And what it's doing is we've got growers here who are growing drugs and simply making lots of money on the backs of the people that we're talking about here. They're making money off the street people who use marijuana to self-medicate and do all of those things. And I've worked the street, and I have compassion for them, and I've held them in my arms and waited for the ambulance for them to get some help. We've done all that. But what we're talking about here is organized crime, and I think some people miss that message. That's simply what it is. It's organized crime, people getting rich off of a commodity that hurts our community. And I don't think you have to rely on my experience. All of you have had this experience. If you look back to your careers in school, the kid in grade 8 who was a good student, he starts going to high school, perhaps gets in with the wrong crowd, starts using marijuana. Most of the time it may be children who are losing brain cells, who have not many to lose, and they end up not finishing high school because they can't concentrate due to their drug use, and they go down the road of addiction, using alcohol, drugs, whatever. And this is what we're talking about. We're talking about organized crime, in my view, getting rich off the people who can least afford to spend.
Mr. Momy, just on the question, one of the first things I heard when I came in the room, one of the witnesses, I think he's a professor from...
Ottawa U?
Yes, saying that if this bill were passed, which, you know, it hopefully will be soon, 80% of the people in his class would be criminals. I was screaming inside me, you know, to say, oh, but only if they were charged. And then maybe they'd have to be proven guilty and convicted. So I found that far out. But anyway, perhaps now you could comment too.
Well, and I certainly agree on that comment. And I came in late and got the tail end of the information that they provided all the senators. But what I will say, sir, is this. You know, the Canadian Police Association, and following up with the information they provided you, the Canadian Police Association is not ready, and its members, right across Canada, we're not ready to give up, you know, on this war on drugs. We're going to continue as police officers to enforce the laws that are there, and all we can do is provide you with the experiences that we are going through. And as Mr. Massicotte indicated, you know, the individuals that, you know, he dealt with on a personal level, the ones that I dealt with on a personal level, we just can't send the message out there to the public, to the Canadian public, that we're giving up.
Sir?